Please do not get the wrong idea from this. If I ask a question rhetorically, for example, if I were to ask, how is that a cowardly act? I don't want your opinion. Don't get the wrong idea. I do not solicit in any way your opinion. I don't think you understand right and wrong. I don't think you have a valid take on any subject whatsoever, man, woman, child, heaven or hell, light or darkness. None of it, much less right or wrong. So it's a rhetorical question. Please show the dignity of restraining your absolutism, because I don't care what you think. What I do know is I've had a lot of trouble over the years with homicidalists from the Veteran Administration. People like Joe Biden, who want colleagues who play up the idea of the spiritual purity of those who fell, as they put it. No matter whether what they were doing was right or wrong or anything else, okay? They served. And as a child, I doubt they wrote these letters to make it look like, oh, I betrayed America by protesting the war in Vietnam. I owed Catholic ideas of conscience, immolation for conscientious objection, and I needed to argue my advantage of Weezo or be one of those public school perverts who was an atheist, and so on and so forth. I mean, it goes on and on and on and on. I fully expect RFK to get in on it because it's pork barrel stuff. But it's all worked out by rabid animals who are hawking children. Okay, so I mean, the perverts were these Helden. So, and they're not ashamed of it. They don't care. They say shame was on the other side in one of the blockbusters. But as a child, I don't think there's anything I could have possibly done to deter what they were doing to me. I don't think there's anything I could have possibly done. They called me the chosen. And that's higher than SCOTUS, or else it is SCOTUS. Chosen one, the one who's going to be lit on fire for immolation purpose in a genocide pornography ring of Adolf Hitler's dementia, because I was a nice blonde boy and so on and so forth. I mean, as they say in the Hollywood Axis semiotic system, Gail Burstyn was a nice cover front for the Fuhrer. A Eurasian little girl who from Israel. Well, that's the sort of thing the money can buy you in Hollywood. But and the pours from the Beatles for money. So the heartbroken people were the poor, and McCartney just slaps. It's like diabolical, ha ha ha. I will lie to you and make you feel better, ha 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 ha. But the technical definition of a coward. Oh, I'm sorry about your ankle, Louis. The technical definition of a coward is somebody who does anything to avoid being subject to violence or pain or threats or screams or anything that's difficult to take. So they don't explain a fear of death. So now they don't explain why somebody who is subjected to slaughtering head blasts, I mean, from full-grown rabid animals when he was 10 or 11 years old, being afraid to fight back because he doesn't want to hurt someone is cowardly. They would say, oh, well, if he had fought back, they would have killed him. So he should have. And they were fully armed. They were certainly capable of murdering me. They took me to strange places and left me there. Farmlands in Pennsylvania, Ohio, Climax One, stolen cars. I mean, I had to run to escape from them. But how is it the course of least resistance to get your head battered in? Get up and go back to that school. Eventually, we did move because I was being targeted. But now let me explain to you the way that they put on Mel Gibson's, arsons in Australia and with the COVID bomb were notorious. Let me explain how they graphically explain the cowardice illustration, okay? The cowardice illustration they have is that they shoot bystanders, they rip or murder a girl to death, right? And they may let me know in advance that they're going to, and I've warned the union, and the union says, thou shalt not come to school here. So this is probably the union's, dialectical ingenuity. So they kill bystanders. But they don't tip me off as to who or when or where they're going to do this. So there's nothing I can do to intervene or try to stop them other than describe the working framework of Amanda Harcourt, who killed Cersei Kennedy, obviously, too. It was, it's even deign to say that they had no grounds to do it. Nothing was meant to provoke them, or nobody had done anything wrong to them, is to play into their court. It goes without saying that nothing like that happened. They're just doing it for sport, and they think it's a cognitive thing. See, they get a pat on the head from the parochial gurus in Access Hollywood, like Martin Sheen, who said Martin Sheen is really very in on this. And they come and he was in on the AIDS attack. The fact that his son has AIDS is just a trump card in the depth of blackmail. That's all it is. He was in on it. The whole process, the whole proceeding, the whole murderous stormtrooping song and dance. He was in on it. He was in on Mount Desert Island, what Vince Irini was doing, what Gail Burstyn was doing, in on it. Okay, make that very clear. That is what I'm saying. Okay. Now, all of the evidence supports it. No evidence refutes. There's no evidence to refute that. All of the evidence supports that claim. And his son isn't the only messianic. I will do it in the habitat of the Boris Karloff scene that they conjured for the Croquet Reducer. I mean, Yoko Ono. And I go out on the streets where I know the people who lie to my face, who have poisoned me in the mouth, who have killed bystanders, and who have subjected me to slaughtering blows to the head since I was 10 years old, and hold my head up and obey the laws in a dignified manner. And they say that's a coward. That's what they say is a coward. And we have people who they've done this to over and over and over again. Because the Watton makers, they used to play a game called Bundy. They tapped this Coke bottle and turned it until it exploded. They put a neuroplasm in here and taunted it to try to get it to go off. For them, it was like a firecracker, a fizzy, a human firecracker. Get the kettle to go off. They were saying this openly in Wire Club. We got the tea kettle to go off. Woo-hoo! And you can't um, work your way up. The law librarians gives you information that's too difficult for you to follow, so you lose a bunch of evidence. The law um, scrivener who receives the tort lies publicly in a letter about what the tort was about. Lies. Who cares? You can't appeal upward to the community trust because they say the Licky Chops people have called dibs on the Mularula Cockadoola. And it doesn't have nothing to do with rights. It has to do with the UW paradigm. And you can't even get it to stop. You can't even talk to a cop about it. They yawn. Oh, you can't go up to the governor because the governor says, well, I have Bernard Workmaker's son on the phone. I remember Bernard. He was a nice man. He would never do anything like that. Queer ball. And then they make puns out of it. They send some guy into a school called You Have All Day. And say, why didn't you figure it out, man? The only person here that mattered was John Lennon. John Lennon was like, we fooled them. We fooled them. You've all day. He shoots up the schools, right? And that's their answer. That's their judgment over the right of a Pittsburgh public school child to go to school unmolested by people who are beating his brains in to prove he's a coward because he doesn't want to hurt somebody. That's the same situation with Leslie Katz. I didn't want to hurt her. That's a coward. That's what Pittsburgh calls it, a provincial norm. To brutalize innocent people, stab bystanders, kill them, poison you in the mouth. Seattle. They call it a provincial norm. Everybody does it, man. And you're a coward, so you deserve it, right? Say we Ripper murdered that girl. There was nothing you could do to stop it. So you're a coward. You can't deny that. That's reason. That's logic.